Hey guys, I'm going to share with you all the tips and tricks I know to get started in Valheim. When you first start, you're going to start at the same sacrificial stone area that everybody starts in. Now this area is pretty much the same in every seed, and it's going to have stones and sticks there to pick up to make your first axe right away all around it. And on the back of these things, behind them, this is a raspberry bush. I already picked them, sorry, but there'll be raspberries to eat, and I'm behind another one, there'll be a couple mushrooms. And I took one already, but there'll be a couple mushrooms. That's to get you started right away, just so you know that all the stuff is nearby. And this is what happens when you kill the bosses. You get events like this. This is how you're going to start off. This is one of the reasons why you might not want to kill the bosses. You get events like this. There's sulfur in the air. Now, this is a fun event for if you're looking for cores, and I'm running out because I made all these portals. You can run around and kill these guys, which is not a threat to me. I will just kill them. And this is kind of fun to watch. Now if you're fighting these guys here that have all this fire damage, and I'm running out of food, I should once they fire, they run. And of course they're weak to water too. I'm not in the swamp, you guys are. But these guys die so easily, you can take out your bow, and I just have like basic arrows. Fire makes it hard to see. Jesus, go away, guys. You. Come here. Stop moving and... Wow, he's good. Of course, if you're on fire, run into the water. Dodge. Run. Wait till they stop. And they just keep coming, don't they? So you're going to have to do events like this. This is just bad timing. I'm going to keep this because this is kind of neat to see. This is what you're looking at when you kill the swamp. You kill Bone Master, you're going to get stuff like this happening at your base. So you're going to want to protect it. Now that that's over with, and how many? 4? Not really worth the time for 4. Kind of bad for drops. Anyways, back to the tips. The next thing you're going to want to do is get that rested bonus. So build your workbench and a simple little thing like that to make sure you can actually use it, and stick a fire down there and build a little thing like this so you can get in here and get shelter and then get rested and get that rested bonus for that extra stamina and health regen. That's really important when you're starting off, and keep that up and keep your farming going real fast and effective. And of course you can build more than just one of these on the fire. You can build as many as you want. Now the next thing I recommend to do is tame a boar. Tame 2 boars actually, and start breeding them. They'll eat the mushrooms, they'll eat the raspberries. You can feed them that right away. And all you do is build a simple cage like this, and you can just run them in there. Is he getting angry? Like so. And when you find 2 of them, you get them coming after you. If they're not, they'll take their time and run around. You get them to come after you like so. And when they chase you, you chase them into their cage. And once they're in there, you just lock it off and then jump out. And now you got them. And then you throw your taming food in there and you feed them. Another way is to build a ramp like this, and then have them run across the ramp, and then destroy the ramp when they're on top of it when you're there, and then they'll fall into your trap. That's how you catch everything. Here's your tip. The next thing you're going to find out on the plains is these strange structures. Like this one here is a skeleton spawner. Not really much of a tip, but that's what it is. At nighttime they spawn. Now over here I have the buried ship, as I found a buried ship right nearby. You're going to find these. I recommend you mark them on the map right away, and make sure, and then as soon as you get the stag breaker, you can come out here and use this to destroy the chest and get the loot. Now, I picked up the chest already in here, but when you find this place, there's going to be a chest in here with some loot, and what you do is you take this, and you use a stag breaker, and you smash the ground, and you look for damage numbers. When you see damage numbers, you're hitting the chest. That's 0, you're not doing any damage to it. So when you see numbers pop up, I'm sorry I can't actually display it. I have a video on doing this, but you just do this. It's simple. You just come there and you smash it, and once you see damage numbers, you keep smashing until the chest breaks and the loot will pop up to the surface for you. It's so handy and very easy to do, and you can get your silver necklaces. Now, at the start of the game, these guys might be a challenge or might be annoying, so you're going to want to protect your base. You can use basic walls. That takes a lot of wood, but the next thing you can do is you can build up land like this. You can just raise the land, build a nice platform up here, and then you can be safe from almost all attacks. Some ranged attacks can kill you, but you're going to be safe from everything. And you can get up here and be safe, and you can use this for like all the fights, and you can use this for big bosses too. You just build it up a little bit taller, and then if you have to be on the ground, you just walk them around it like so, and you have a safe place to hide behind as you're fighting things. So this is the other thing I recommend is if you're going to be in trouble, build pillars like this. Now, the next thing you might want to do is get some fine wood. So you can start building some fine stuff, and you want that fine wood bow and get that core wood from the forest. You know, you want the fine wood bow right away. So what you can do is chop down other trees that are nearby, these other trees, and they'll fall down and they do damage to them and they'll break them. So you find a spot in the meadows with lots of these trees here, and as you can see, if you push them, it does damage, and then they will eventually break into their fine wood without the axe that you need to actually break them. So you can do that right away. And there's plenty of trees in the meadows like this. If these birch trees are surrounded by a lot of other trees, they become a lot easier to knock down, or you're going to be stuck just pushing these logs into the birch trees to actually break them and knock them down to get your fine wood that way. Or you can use a troll. Trolls are really great at breaking the trees, and they're really good at getting you the tin. Tin will take them one shot to break, so you don't need to kill the first boss. You can have the troll break the tin. You can have a troll break the copper for you. All you gotta do is stand there, and when he swings, run and then dodge, and then walk back to him, and then he'll swing again, run and dodge until he breaks everything for you. It's, you know, he's your personal slave. He can work for you. You just got to make sure he doesn't hit you. The next thing I recommend is at the starting point, you're going to want to build a base nearby with a teleporter. So build a small little base in a teleporter when you have access to those smoldering cores that you can get from the caves and the dark forest, which is the next tip I'm going to go and start you on right now. We will go to a cave and I'll show you tips on how to clear them with very little gear and be very safe in doing so. Because, you know, at the start of the game, they can be kind of tricky when you get unlucky with ghosts and, you know, two-star skeletons coming at you. When you're not geared, it can be sketchy. So right here I have a cave. This cave is half buried. That's okay. There'll be skeletons around it to notify you that there's something nearby. It'll be a cave, or it will be just a abandoned tower thing. But once you get in the cave, you can see you're wet, and that doesn't help you at all. And if you're not rested from running and looking for the place the whole time, you can build a fire inside here. So if you build a fire, you have shelter, and you'll dry off. As you see, I'm drying off very fast, and you'll get sheltered and you'll get rested bonus as you're waiting. You just gotta watch out for the smoke, but don't worry about that. You can avoid the smoke. Now, when you're coming in here and you want to fight, I recommend making that stag breaker again. It is awesome for everything. So when you come in here and you run into a skeleton, like here's a skeleton spawner, and there's some skeletons, and you go, oh no, there's two of them, I can't handle two of them at the start. You can run up to here and then jump up on here, and they can't get you. You only have to worry about the archers shooting you, and then you can shoot them with the bow. But as they are, they can't hurt you, and you can hurt them. Like that. Now the other trick you can use while you're in here is you can fight on the corners like this, and then when you slam, you'll knock them back. Oh, there's a skeleton there, and he dies. And there's one there. Now, the other trick is you can run like this, and then they're coming, and you close the door on them. And then you can kill them through the door, as you can see. Very cheap, very easy. The door will eventually break, but there are plenty of doors in here if you get into trouble. And this here is really good if you're in trouble, and you can keep your rested bonus by resting. Just beware of the smoke. You can arrange it around any way you want. There is a way to make it so you're not getting smoke and you're getting shelter. It's not that hard. Now, after you have your troll breaking your copper for you and you make your thing and you got your pick, you want to get some iron. Now, maybe if you don't want to kill the boss or you want to have some, basic time in there, you're going to have to, get some iron without it. And so you're going to have to go find some scrap piles. And you don't have the wishbone, of course. You don't want to kill the boss just to get a wishbone. You can use the stag breaker again to find these things. I have a whole video on how to find all the different ores and do it. More involved. But this is how you do it. When you're running around in the swamp, you take out your stag breaker and then you start hitting the ground and you look for damage numbers. Now, mighty scrap piles are 0, so don't get them confused with regular trees and logs and rocks. And the too hard is, of course, the ancient tree right here. But right here is the mighty scrap pile, so if you're going around and you're searching and you see a 0, there's probably a scrap pile underneath there and you get to start digging. And most of these are going to be really buried. You can search the outside of the swamp first. That's the best way to do it, and get the easier ones that you can actually mine the whole thing. But lots of them are going to be in the middle of the swamp, and they're going to be surrounded by lots of water, and you're not going to be able to dig them all out there. And it'll take some time to get the 40 iron you need to build your iron pickaxe to start mining silver. Now, the next thing you want to do, you might have to worry about in here, is the abominations. They are big and they can be nasty at the start, and you want a nice way to kill them without getting hurt. Because you can avoid everything else in the swamp by building things or shooting them with your arrows from far away and killing them that way. But if you want a nice cheap way to kill them, I got a video on that too. But I can show you that right now because I noticed one right near here just the other day, and here he is right there. That's the abomination. When he spawns up, he'll come and attack you, and if you're not geared, you can just run and jump on top of a crypt like this. Once you're on top of a crypt, he can't really hurt you, and you can shoot him with arrows if you want to use a lot of arrows, or you can just sit there and use an axe and let him come close and see his legs are glitching you and pushing you, and now you can hit him. There. Just like that. And it's attacking, and you can destroy that, I don't care, but he can't hit me. And none of his attacks will hit you. He has 3 different attacks, and they won't hit you, and now you're safe to attack him as you wish. And you just stand there and get killed. Okay. Yeah. That's him being stunned. And he is dead. So that's the cheap way to kill these guys. For another tip for you guys to know. Another good thing to do is make sure you're building a nice big portal hub and having portals near all the bosses, like this boss right here, and in the center of all your locations that you're going to be visiting. Now, to find silver while we're on it, since you just got the iron, you want to find silver. It's the same process. You can use the same nice stag breaker there, and you smash the ground. And when you're smashing the ground, it'll come up as a too hard message when you're in the mountains. And it'll only be up where it'll be in the high regions only, right where the obsidian is. So if you see obsidian, silver can be underneath, buried down there, and those nodes are really big, so you'll have an easier chance to see the too hard notice, and it'll be obvious it's not obsidian if there is one there. And then you dig there. The other thing you should do on your bases is you can build a trench like this once you have your pick. And you can build a nice big trench around your base like this, and nobody's going to come in there and bug you. This is pretty safe right here, like this, and I build the walls just to, you know, for added effect. Just, you know, rub it in them. They're not going to come and get me. None of these attacks are going to actually reach my base and destroy it or mess with it, and you don't have to worry about them at all. Now, another thing you might want to know for the last tip is you can have like just a 1 meter gap like this. As long as there's air there, enemies won't cross it, but you can run across that. So you don't have to worry about running and jumping, and if you're in trouble, you can just be walking in this last little bit, and you're good to go, and you're safely in your base. And of course, build roofs to protect your stuff when you can. To protect your builds. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.